What is a silver tsunami, and will it flood Pagosa Springs, Colorado? More on that in a second, but first let's remind ourselves why we chose to call this gorgeous place home. All right. Welcome to 2024. Weird to say that. I'm also recovering from a little cold, so my voice may be a little bit deeper.
I would kill for that voice.
All right, for those that are new to this channel, this is your opportunity to gain a financial edge with real estate here in Southwest Colorado. We're going to go over what happened in 2023, but we're going to spend the majority of our time thinking about what could happen in 2024. So let's jump right into it. As we've been saying all year long, the name of the game is supply and demand. We stated earlier this year that it would be tough to surpass 600 new listings in 2023, which is something that's never happened in the history of our digital records on the MLS. And lo and behold, we were right. We ended the year with only 564 new listings, down 11% from last year, down 37% from our previous record in 2019, and down 11% from our previous low in 2012, when we were in the midst of coming out of the Great Recession. Sales, on the other hand, held up better when compared to historical trends. We ended up with 380 residential units sold, 16% below last year, but still higher than 2010 through 2014 and nearly equal with 2015. So it's clear that demand has held up better than supply, which is why prices have remained rather stable throughout 2023. If you look at our price per square foot, we're still near record highs. And if you dwindle it down to our most reliable data set, 322s under 2,000 square feet in PLPUA, we're only down 3.5% from our peak in June 2022. Overall, our rolling 3-month median price stands at $585,000, up 5% from a year ago. Our average price stands at $683,000, up 6% from a year ago. But days on market continues to grow as we try to churn through outdated inventory that's priced a little too high. So overall, let's put it this way. If you're updated, you're going to sell quick. If you're outdated, it's going to take a while. Low inventory also allowed us to trim back towards record highs, but right now we're basically at a standoff until something gives. And what could that be? Now, it's no secret that Pagosa Springs is both a tourism community and a retirement community, and we've covered in the past the massive impact the tourism economy has on our local economy. But so far, we haven't covered much about the retirement community. The other day, I came across some interesting data that directly relates to our retirees, and it has a phrase associated with it: the Silver Tsunami. Currently, 10,000 people a day are turning 65. By 2030, the entire baby boomer generation will be over 65, which will encompass 21% of the total US population. Now, here's the kicker. Even though baby boomers make up only 21% of the population, Americans over 55 own 54% of the homes nationwide. Basically, their real estate wealth is over 3 times that of millennials, and eventually that wealth will be sold and passed down to the next generation. Now, one analyst has predicted that the Silver Tsunami will cause house prices to fall. Meredith Whitney estimates 51% of individuals aged 50 and above will downsize into smaller residences, which could result in over 30 million units coming onto the market. And there might not be enough younger buyers to sustain the housing market, especially when it comes to larger homes. But what if you're located in a town that's seen an influx of retirees moving to the area? The Sun Belt often dominates these kind of areas, but one town recently made a surprising move into the top 5, Billings, Montana, because not every baby boomer out there wants to spend the rest of their life indoors avoiding triple-digit heat and humidity. So the question is, will this silver tsunami reach Pagosa Springs? Will even more Texans decide to escape 110-degree temps for the incredible climate of the San Juans? And will it help sustain our current prices or further increase them? In many ways, it already has. Overall, I think Pagosa will continue to attract retirees, especially from Texas, and many folks I speak with are already jumping ahead of the curve, buying their retirement home now since they realize prices may be out of reach once they do tell their bosses they're off to better pastures.
I don't like my job, and I don't think I'm gonna go anymore.
You're just not gonna go?
Yeah.
Speaking of Texans, this area is home to a lot, and I mean a lot of vacation homes. People from Texas that own vacation homes. So where will the second home market head in 2024 after an incredible run during the pandemic where everyone sought to get the hell out of the suburbs and cities and into nature where life is simply better? Well, mortgage rate locks for second homes are now 47% below their pre-pandemic levels. So the second home market has practically dried up for the time being, and I don't see that changing until interest rates fall lower. So where are rates headed in 2024? Most experts are saying rates will drop into the low 6s. All of this depends on whether inflation comes under control. And if it does, I wouldn't be surprised to see mortgage rates drop into the 5s again. And if it does, look out. There's a lot of buyers on the sidelines waiting for this to happen. I ran across a recent survey which stated that it wasn't affordability that made buyers go to the sidelines in their home search. It was mortgage rates. And I think the same goes for sellers. Sellers don't want to give up their low rates. They feel stuck. And once rates do drop back into the 5s, people can fathom giving up those low rates and making the move. But I want to go back to affordability here. There's many of you out there that believe you can't afford to move here or that it's more expensive to live here. If you haven't already, check out our video that busts this myth. But to go further into this, if you own a home that you bought before 2020, then you have enough equity in that home to sell it and buy a place here in Pagosa and live here even on a teacher's salary. Take a look at this. A beginner teacher here makes a little over $50,000 a year. So if you and your partner have at least $140,000 worth of equity in your current home and rates are in the low 5s, you and your partner could afford to buy the median home here in Pagosa and teach, which means you have your summers off to go play in the mountains. And big thanks to our low property taxes here in Colorado, which are the 3rd lowest in the nation, that allow that to make that possible when compared to especially like Texas that has some of the highest property taxes. But think about that. You could get away from the crowded suburbs and live a better and more fulfilling life here in the mountains. If you have a skill that's in demand, you can make it work here. It all boils down to this. If there's a will, there's absolutely a way. And lower interest rates open up the door for others to make that move. So it's not so much about prices, it's about interest rates. That's really what determines if a home is affordable or not. So overall, where do we go from here? I think for 2024, we're going to stay mostly flat or see some modest price gains, maybe up to about 5%, depending, of course, on our inventory situation. If inventory starts to really climb, then prices could come down, but I don't see any evidence of that happening as of yet. If you are thinking about buying or selling, hit us up. We'd love to chat with you about how you can achieve your goals so you can move on to the next stage of your life. And if you're thinking about selling this summer, contact us today. We'll come out during the winter at no charge to grab pics and video of your property in the winter to use in addition to what we'll capture during the spring or summer. Because buyers want to know what it's like in the winter on your property. And quality in marketing matters. We continually try to go above and beyond in the service we give to our clients. We think of ourselves as more than just realtors. We're a marketing company servicing the real estate industry. All right, if you have any questions, whatever, hit us up. We'd love to share a beer with you and talk about the magic of Pagosa Springs, Colorado. Cheers.